Are you guys as tired as I am?
No,
Who said no?
I did.
Hey, contrarian.
It's me.
This has been a hell of a couple of days, I must say. It's been so great to learn so much from all of you again, but really just to see all of you guys in person again, hang out, and talk with you, and get to know some of the new folks a little bit better, and sort of pull them into what really is a family. You know, I've got some of the best friends I've ever had in my life in this group of publishers. And thank you guys so much for coming here and making this work, because it's really all about you guys and how you work together. And I just want to run through the endless list of thank yous again, and very much we need to thank the folks at Columbia for letting us use this incredible space. It's been perfect for us, I think. And a big round of applause for the man hiding back in the booth back there, Neil. Thank you for putting up with us. I hope we didn't trash your place too much. Thank you. Yeah, to all the speakers who gave their time and wanted to come here and be a part of this. That's just thank you. And to our sponsors, certainly Net News Check, our media sponsor, Mission Data, Zebra Reach, Now Talk, Local Yoco, Yahoo, Broad Street, and to Pointer for helping our organization out so much, being our fiscal sponsor. And not on the poster, but again, to Patterson for really giving us the boost that we needed at the right time to turn this into something that wasn't just an idea, but something that's actually working and happening. And Crystal wants me to make the announcement that we've got lots of food out there. Please grab some on your way out. Yeah, we're not leaving yet, so this is not your cue to leave. Don't go grab the sandwich now. We still got a little bit more talking to do. And Crystal, oh, thank you so much for making this. As far as I'm concerned, this whole thing just kicked ass.
Yeah.
Anybody disagree? And now's the time where we are going to, I guess, review what's going on and where we're going to go from here. What are the next steps? And Joe's going to moderate this, lead us through this, give us the kick in the pants to keep talking just a little bit more.
Yeah, basically just going to turn the 60 ideas in 60 minutes question back around. So in this segment, we want to hear what are you going to do? So we're going to want to hear from whoever wants to speak. What are you going to do, or what did you learn? So it's going to be helpful for some accountability for yourself, but also it might remind other people about something that they learned but just forgot along the way because of the fire hose effect. So we need another microphone. There's no prize except for your own success.
That's prize enough, isn't it?
Right.
All right, I always try to write down a list of things I'm going to go back and present to my staff and tell them what they missed. So I have a top 10
That by
list.
itself is a good idea.
What's that?
To write things down and tell your staff you're going to do them. If you have a staff, if you don't have a staff, tell your dog.
So real quick here, Howard's tip about Yahoo News, I'm going to send that guy an email. The night lab tools, sound site, I'm going to make heavy use of that immediately. The timeline, I'm going to do on our About page, do a timeline about us, about Charlottesville and Martin. So that was a good light bulb. The News Hawk mascot, love that idea. And we have a mascot now, so that's good. More sponsored content, being open to that as a nonprofit. That was sort of a shift in my thinking. Robin talked about the Where is Yellowstone page. I thought that was another great idea. And I don't know what the search will be for Charlottesville, but that is potential for traffic. Lots of ideas about language and framing, about how we talk about what we're doing. So I always benefit from hearing people talk about the work in that way. Howard also mentioned the You Pick 'em app from 2nd Street as a contest app. I like that. I'm going to sign up for Rick Gordon's class on the analytics evaluation. And I think that's it.
I think you just
Thank you.
covered everything.
I'm sure it's a few.
Then what are you gonna do next week?
Yeah,
What's your priority there? Because that's a hell of a list. Right. What's your priority? Because that's a huge list. What are you gonna do?
next week.
Well, let's see, next week. Well, I'm going to do some of these pretty soon. I mean, they're not, some of these are not that hard.
Type up the list and get to the rest of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. And to the point about where's Yellowstone, Raphael, how did you determine that there are some tools out there where you can figure out what are people searching on? I don't know if Google has a tool like that still, but that is something you can do in your own local area to find out what are people searching on. You can find some search terms that you may want to embed in some posts the way he did.
I don't know how much of it is local, because for me, I don't care. If you're interested in coming to the park, I want to sell your eyeballs to my advertisers. So there's a tool, and I think I got to it through Google Webmaster, but you can just find it on the web. You don't necessarily have to have a Google account, maybe you do now. But it's a keyword search tool. I think if you search for that under Google, it'll bring it up, and you can put in a phrase, and it will tell you related keywords and how often they're searched, and rank them by, popularity highest to lowest. And I just picked a few of those that were at the high end. It'll also tell you how competitive those keywords are for advertisers that want to buy those words for ads.
Yes, it's under the Google AdWords.
Yeah.
That's where it is, yes. That's where it's at.
And so I also looked at what words were valuable to advertisers as well, because I wanted to capture that market also, and just built a few pages with varying success, but that's one that has brought in a lot of traffic. Photography has been another one for me.
Since you have the mic, do you want to talk about what you're going to be doing?
Oh boy, I just started my
On the spot.
Someone, I've forgotten who, threw out an idea about giving out awards or doing an awards program in their community. And that struck me as something that people love to get awards, and they love to publicize the fact that they got an award. So if I name an award after my website and then give it out to people in the Yellowstone area for, work with wildlife or habitat, or sharing information with the public, or interpretation, or give out 4 or 5 different awards every year, then they'll have that sitting on their desk, and hopefully people will go, what is that? And it will help spread the word about my website. So that may be a thing, or it may be an event. It's just an idea for me right now. During my coaching with Jan at the Knight Foundation, she showed me a couple of ideas on an old project that I had been talking about a year ago, to track grizzly bears and where they move around the greater Yellowstone area, and make that information available to the public and the readers, sort of like a Texas Tribune style data draw to my website. And Ushahi is the name of it, and I'd read about it and forgotten it, and it wasn't really ready for prime time when I looked at it, and looks like this year maybe it is, and it'll be a little easier for me to use. So I'm going to explore implementing that. Someone else talked about having an advisory board. That's something I've thought about, and that was a good reminder that I might want to look at that again. And then John from Repost has inspired me to write better headlines.
Great job.
Thanks to Ned's incredible presentation this morning. I will get home and start collecting my flashlights, candles, bottled water and start eating our own advice about being prepared. I think that was a great lesson. Yeah.
Poor Dad is still haven't done all that.
So, thank you for that.
Well, my only regret of the whole conference is not being able to split myself up, because I really want, and everybody who was on that collaboration panel yesterday, I want to be in touch with you, because I really think that's something that we haven't done very much of, and that we need to really go forward with that and doing some partnerships. But I'll talk about the voluntary subscription, and we did one last year that was fairly successful, but we haven't done it again. But whoever said, put something about it on every tagline of every story, that's probably the first thing I'm going to do, is both we'll work together to relaunch, say yes, and then figure out a way to make it more of a regular item on the site.
Who's next?
But I came here knowing I wanted to launch a site, even having the site domain, but not knowing much more about it. I'm ready to go home and get started. I have the site I want, the advertising platform that I need, everything that I didn't know. I've got at least a little bit of information here. The best investment that I made was coming here. There.
It's an ex-patch, so,
Yes.
yeah.
And I've learned something from that, but I believe I've learned a lot more for myself from here. So it was very valuable. One of the first things I need to do is find out how to join up with mine. Some of the things that I picked up that are beneficial to me were from you to go ahead straight away, get down and get it done. I think I'd like a mascot of some sort. I'd like to be able to share some of my advertising revenue with the community. Somebody had that idea here, and I think that I'm just too much to even get together right now.
Right.
Thank you.
The house contrary.
The House Contrarian. Last year I came out of this conference and I thought about Brentwood today as being wonderfully good people. Suzanne, you impressed me last year, and you were impressing me again this year with how you guys are growing down there. And I've been around longer, but it would be, you have had business coaches, and you should be a business coach, frankly. You seem to be doing it right. The other person who I think is really doing it right is Ned Berg. His presentation this morning was very inspiring, and I could feel how he did things, and he had to struggle with things on a personal level as well as a business level. And that was a wonderful video. It wasn't the right one, Ned, but it was the right one for this audience, you know. And God bless you for surviving that thing. What I'm taking out of here is we have not done the advertising approach. Maybe we should take another look at it. But we developed our own app, and one of the vendors here has a back end that we're about to add into our app, and they are several steps ahead of us. So it appears like we'll just stick that back end in, and that will help us with the revenue on our app. And that was all great stuff. So there's the House Contrarian, and someone disagree with me, please.
What have you done with Patrick?
I'm not joking. He's gone missing with the lion.
My staff doesn't like it when I go to conferences like this, because when I go to the sales meeting on Monday morning, they're like, oh, good Lord, what ideas is Julie going to force us to implement? But I do have a lot of great ideas, and this conference and the existence of this organization has been the biggest shot in the arm that my website has had in 16 years. Like, I might as well just not even have done it for the first 10 years, because it just didn't really amount to anything. But I mean, there's so many things I want to do. I'm giving myself a year to get all this done. Number one, just from hearing from you guys, like how many paid views you're getting and what you're charging now that we're free to sort of talk turkey, I am not charging enough. I'm like that old lady that's been renting out an apartment to somebody for 50 years and didn't raise the rent. No more.
Rent control, you don't have to worry.
No, so I'm raising the rates, and I'm also gonna get more content, get better content by looking at my legacy competitors, seeing what editorial areas their weekend, which I already kind of know, and figure out how much it costs to get this editorial done, and then pre-sell the ads, and then do it, instead of what I used to do, which was pay for the editorial, and then the reps don't sell the ads, and then, they're ready for it. So I'm not doing that anymore. So I'm doing that. I'm gonna get better ads through using Broad Street ads for customer updatable ads. I'm gonna get very serious about my mobile presence on all sites. Even though I have responsive design, it's just not quite where I want it to be, and it's gotta be addressed. I'm going to do a live chat app on the site. I've got, a lot of ideas, and the vendors here were all just really relevant to what I need, I think. So I'm just so happy that, there's a lot I need to do, and I'm just so happy that I got so many great ideas here.
Great, thank you.
Ruffin has been helping me since I made a decision earlier this year to turn my life upside down. And he told me from the start that job one was to come to this conference, and I'm happy to report that he was right. It's been really good. I wish I could tell you exactly what I'm going to do when I get home, but basically it's just to get home and try to get this site done and take it out to advertisers and sponsors and everything else. And tomorrow I have a 8-hour megabus purgatory ride to Minneapolis where I'm going to spend a few days before flying home. So I'm going to sit with the Wi-Fi is almost non-existent. I can at least use my Mac I tend to type up everything I learned, which helps me, just like when you type your notes stuff, it helps you organize a story. I hope to do that tomorrow, but I just learned so much, I honestly wouldn't know where to begin or when to stop, so thank you.
I think everybody's probably already said something I've been thinking about, and I think that's what I'm going to first. Maybe the second thing I'm going to do is probably look at my notes and I'll write everything down and figure out what in the world I'm going to do. The first thing I'm doing, which was just sort of, why didn't I think of that before? I've already done it. Is I put a recent posts widget on my Facebook page, on my site, to let people know that there are other stories, just like Jan was talking about yesterday, just to hopefully drive more traffic on the site. Other than that, I think it's going to be taking a good look at doing the SEO optimization discussion that was held earlier today. Just take a good look at how my stories are appearing, especially on Facebook. And this is something I don't think this is more like in the hallways, talking to some of the people who are sort of my neighbors in a sense, is trying to organize more of a news, sort of some kind of cooperative news. So I'm saying this publicly to make myself do it, because I've thought about it, I've never done it, and I'm saying it publicly is trying to organize some of the local sites in my area, so maybe we can share and cooperate on projects or share news.
And what area are you in for the comments at home?
Massachusetts specifically, New England in general.
Which part of Massachusetts?
Southeastern Massachusetts, neighbors with Julie there, so.
Very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks. To follow up on what that point is, I had an inspiration when I was listening to Ned about trying to join together with some of my sites locally in the Seattle area for what happens when we have an earthquake or a volcano blows or some other bizarre thing that everybody's saying is going to happen to us someday soon. Because we don't talk to each other about that, and the truth is that we're probably all going to be in the same boat in terms of operating the shoestring if an emergency hits. And I think if we could talk about how we interact with all the agencies locally and try to have a united front, that would help us. So I'm inspired to go back and talk to other people about that. The other things that I learned, how to optimize images on the site, which I didn't have a clue that there was a way to do that, and easily through Image Optim. And I'm going to do that. And Dylan talked about Cloudflare, which is a way of a free content demand management system to take some load off my server, because I find out my site is sort of slow. Let's see what else. Love mascot idea and Facebook debugging. I had no clue that why my images weren't showing up on Facebook is because if I go through the debugging process on the development site, I can figure that out and refresh it and make it all good. So thank you for all the great ideas.
The prepaid advertising contract that Julie suggested, I think, was the best thing I heard, and I'm going to take that back. That I appreciate
saying, well, duh.
I appreciate the idea very much. Thank you.
But it's amazing, so in the world that Julie comes from, it's like it understood, it's amazing how when you try to build something from scratch, and there's some things like that that are known in other parts of the business that just don't come up from when you're trying to build it from scratch. So it's great to have somebody who's been in the business for a while to bring in some of those basics that you wouldn't hear otherwise.
I don't see.
In addition to, even if you don't have something you're going to do, maybe there's like a big light bulb that went off, like, was there a big aha this past couple of days too?
This was my first time at one of these things, and it was just incredibly useful to hear everybody else's experience and know that you're not alone. I agree the SEO advice was incredibly useful, and can go back and implement some of that stuff immediately. I think I'm rededicated to dealing with mobile, and we are really have done nothing in that area, so that's going to be a big priority. And also, I heard in a variety of different ways, to be receptive to taking, accepting help, and whether it's free help or paid help. And I think we're going to really work on that.
Bill Smith, Madison. Now, I was really impressed with Uriah's idea about the working with nonprofits to kind of raise funds for them and also do marketing on your site as well. And I think I'm going to, it'll take me a while to put something like that together, but I'm thinking that is one of the best takeaways for me from this. I knew I needed to do responsive design before I came here, and now I'm more convinced than ever that I really need to move that up on the schedule. And there are just so many other things that this is my fourth time at one of these, and I've learned a whole lot each time I come. So, very impressive.
Hi, I'm Tom Ray from LaGrange today. Actually, my site I started back in 2006. I ran it for 4.5 years before closing it down. At that point, focused on the journalism, but not making it a business, and got a bit burned out. So I was doing some writing for Patch after that because they offered money, if not journalism. And sorry, but with that out of the way, I began to wonder whether I could go back and do the site and find a way to monetize it. And that was what drew me here. And what I learned here is that there's a lot of people who can serve as inspiration. I can see people here who are doing it successfully. And I think I found the tools here that I'm going to go home, I'm going to put together a business plan. I think it's probably the best thing to do at this point. But I think I have the tools to do that, and if things work out, I'll move forward.
Thank you. Great. We've got time for one more, maybe?
I actually have a list of about 20 things, but I just wanted to keep it to 2 things that I think I can do right away. I really liked Susan's and I guess Kelly's idea about the advisory board, so I want to follow up on that with them on that, and then also the STEM. I don't know if you were here for that, but the funding proposal. That's definitely something we could pursue in our markets. I need to follow up with Jan Schaefer, and Bill and I talked about just the kind of moral support we feel here, you know, coming to these conferences, and I certainly appreciate that as well.
Well, I think you should all give yourselves a round of applause for being as generous for both of these days. I mean, at the very beginning with the 60 ideas in 60 minutes, I think the benefit of that was really getting people to share things that I think really took everybody up a level. And then I've noticed a lot of sharing in the hallways. And I think that was a wise move on Dylan and Crystal's part, as and others who were building the agenda, to try to build some time in for you guys to network and to find people to connect with. So the real power of this happens, you know, once you're out of here. To me, this whole thing is about sustainability. It's not just financial sustainability, but your ability to have a life, a sustainable life, so you can take a vacation once in a while or come to something like this. And I think investing a couple of days to come to this is how you're going to become sustainable. So good for you guys for doing that. And I think the people who are able to come to this conference become the models for those who maybe couldn't come here, but hopefully you can share through your Facebook groups and other ways to keep this conversation going forward. So thank you all. Applause.
To everybody who took the time out of their incredibly busy schedules to come all the way here, help out your colleagues. Thank you very much for that. I would say see you next year, but I'm going to see almost every single one of you on Facebook probably later tonight, certainly tomorrow, and you know, for the next 364 days until we are back somewhere, quite possibly, quite probably here, because we did not trash the place, so they would be happy to have us back, and thank you. We are adjourned.